Good morning and welcome to the Planning and Development Committee. I'm going to do a roll call. Rita Russell, Chair, is here. Vice Chair, Mr. Craig Cobbs.
Morning.
Good morning, he's here. And Member and President of Council, Tony Kuda.
Here.
All right, well, welcome everyone. This is going to be a real efficient meeting this morning. This is an update on the Noble Merchants Association and what the Noble Roads merchants have done so far. Instead of all of the merchants coming this time, they have sent representatives. So you can tell they are getting really organized and well aligned of what each other is going to do in their roles. So they're come to give you an update. I'm so happy to announce that I did see a new logo they created for them.
Yes.
A name that they could.
Good morning. Is this the right meeting today?
Yes.
For Noble. Noble? Okay.
Noble Merchants.
Thank you. How goes everyone?
How
are you?
Come on, have a seat.
Delisha. My husband.
So, so it's to give an update on what they've been doing. So just to backtrack a little bit, at our last meeting, the last two meetings, we were full with Noble Merchants. They were very excited. The first meeting was about what did they want to do regarding having a SID or a Merchants Association. I think out of that meeting, it was somewhat decided that they preferred to do a merchants association because it was not enough of them who own buildings. And so we had a second meeting, and the second meeting was to assure that the people who were involved definitely wanted to do a merchants association. So I gave them a task. The task was to go to all the merchants in the Noble area to either sign on to say yes, if they can't be here, to be a part of the Merchants Association. They had a meeting among themselves to discuss with Myra. They invited Myra to come in to find out exactly what structure they needed to put in place and to present to the city. So I'm going to turn it over to
Antoine.
Thank you.
Yes.
A lot just went out of my mind for 1 second. Yes.
Real quick question. When you say all the Noble Merchants, do you mean from like Caledonia all the way to Mayfield?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grayton.
Yeah, Grayton to
Yeah.
Mayfield. Okay.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to turn it over to Anthony.
So that's what we did. So we split up into groups and we went out to all the merchants. We have over 40 signatures of people that want to be a part of the business association. We've created a logo. We have representatives. We have a board. And we are excited to get started. What else?
And your name?
Oh, Antoinette Muhammad.
No,
Of
the
Salon
name
Productions.
the name of the association you are.
Noble Business Alliance. Yes. Yeah.
NBA.
Yes. So that's who we are. Yes, and we have over 40 signatures of people that are interested and ready to get started for the business association. And like you said, down from Caledonia up to Mayfield. Yes.
So this meeting will be to find out what's the next steps that they need to do to bring to the city.
Yes.
But I also have a surprise for you. I have a surprise for you. I've been working outside the box a little bit here.
Okay.
So I actually went to the county and I talked to Pernell Jones. And Pernell Jones, along with County Council Michael Hauser, is going to give the association $10,000 to start your association.
Wow.
So there's paperwork that needs to be done, but I know I can't do it, so I need to send it and email it over to the Planning and Development Department once they send all of the paperwork. But I wanted to announce to you that that was something to help get you started. They are very interested in helping the businesses in that area. And so they were willing to give you $10,000 of their offer funds to help with get served with the association. So I was very happy and very pleased and glad I opened my mouth.
Right.
So I'm gonna turn it over to the city to find out what would be their next steps and how do they go about doing what they need to do.
And I may lean on Myra here a little bit as well, but I guess some of that is probably to be determined based upon kind of what the priorities and the appetite is for folks in the Merchant Association. But when you mentioned, now that there's potential funding involved, if it can or does go through the city, or if it can't, there needs to be an entity that is receiving the funds. So there probably needs to be a 501c3
Okay.
that gets established, and then that helps also lay out your, governance and a board and how funds and decisions get made. But I think there's, kind of two important tracks. There's the program side of it. What are the goals and priorities of the group, but also the organizational side of it. That
Yeah, and the
needs to be
grant portion
established.
can't happen without what Brian referred to. You need a 501c3 or C6. What is the difference between the C3 and C6?
A C6 is like trade association
Oh, okay.
that allows for lobbying.
Got it. Don't need that.
And what's the difference between the LLC? And
Totally different thing.
totally different. Yeah, I just wanted to, because people ask, so.
Well, I mean, the 501c3 could be, it's a nonprofit.
It's a nonprofit.
Okay.
But you have to have the LLC
Mhm.
or an S corp. It has to be
Yeah, whatever.
something like that.
Okay.
C3 allows you to take donations,
I'm sorry.
tax write-off donations.
503c3.
C4 would be used for
Talking about
advocacy.
having,
Yeah.
Mhm.
either one, that we would need to go ahead and
Yeah, because then that makes you a nonprofit.
nonprofit, right?
Okay. So do we know, Councilman Cobb or President Kuda, what did we, how much or what did we allocate or say to be, out of our opera funds to go to trying to get an association for the Noble and Taylor area?
Well, I think we just put $1.3 million aside for community investment fund. Do you remember anything?
Yeah, no, there was no
specific.
specifics, so whatever dollar amount is needed to assist that organization was to be determined by council.
Okay. So how would we go about determining or maybe we can get some, or Myra, who could tell us what
Well,
would
The
cost?
structure, the organizational structure that Mr. Anderson was talking about. I always want to say first names, but
Yeah.
I think once you determine that and the programming, I think then you can determine how much money you'll need. Because you got to decide who's going to be part of it. Are you going to pay you're going to hire a part-time? I mean, and I'm not saying it has to be part-time, but most of the.
They also voted for Myra.
Yes. That is definitely,
I have to say, I love this group. I have never seen a more motivated group of merchants than on Noble.
Yeah.
I mean, you just are incredible. So
Yes, thank you.
And Myra knows how to put together a budget, and how to, so I think once you just, get the organizational piece together, that two-pronged approach that Assistant Director Anderson was talking about, then you talk about the programming, and then you can see how much you need. It's nice to have $10,000 to start, because you're gonna have startup.
Yes, sort of.
You need.
I mean, you need to figure that you have to hire an attorney to do
right.
the corporate thing with the LLC. You have to figure out how to file the paperwork to become a 501c3.
Mhm.
You also need to do things like open a checking account, very basic things that you need for your businesses. So all of that has to be factored into your budget. It can't just be like, we're gonna do X amount for promotions and then figure that's your budget.
Right.
So figure the administrative costs in addition to the marketing costs.
So maybe, I guess the next steps would be to have another meeting with the spokespeople or the group for Noble with Myra and sit down and put together a plan in place. And if needed, I don't know if I'm allowed to, but I do have access. I have a 501c3 and a 501c4. And I have someone who put mine together along with the bylaws as well, and I can ask them to assist with you all as well.
And you
would be
need
perfect.
bylaws too, we talked about that.
Yes.
That would be perfect. We started some of the bylaws, we did.
Yes, you did.
Down some
Yeah.
things with that,
So in terms of your board, how far did you get with that? Did you only figure out your offices or did you figure out who board members would be? What do you?
Yeah, we discussed the board members, yes,
Okay.
The four.
yes.
For total. So what we'll do is we just need to set 2 separate meetings, one for just the main, our offices and stuff, and then another one with the rest of the merchants, before we come back here.
Okay.
Thinking that would be the best course of action. So that way we can get together with Myra and us to figure out what our next, as far as
Yeah, and I'll be happy to
the
do
steps
those
is to
meetings
fund
with you.
in.
I mean, that's not a problem.
do the 503 and get the person that you know to
Mhm.
kind of help us with that next section with the 50, what is it, 501?
It's a 501c.
501c3.
Yeah.
Look, I had to look back at what.
Yeah, it's 501c3.
C3.
Mr. Cox, you have a question?
Well, I'm just, I'm thinking, is there an attorney that would be willing to do this work pro
Pro bono.
bono?
Oh,
Because
that'd be
it's
nice.
really, it's just a matter of paperwork.
It is.
And I hate to have you guys a situation where you go to a lawyer and he's gonna charge you
That's a good point.
2,000.
thousands of dollars to do what he is essentially, or she is essentially gonna run off of a word processor
That's true.
to prepare and file the paperwork. 'Cause the
Think of one figure.
the
Well, if it was
filing
only a-
fees are themselves nominal to register
Looking at each other.
file it with the IRS.
Right.
And it would be great if you had a lawyer that, was in that neighborhood, and as I'm sitting here offhand,
There is.
is there one?
Is there?
Is that in Monticello?
Mhoff is Noble Monticello.
Yeah, who is that? I don't,
Mhoff, I know they do fair,
Uh-huh.
I know that, I know
they do
that.
fair, civil rights type stuff, but I'm sure they're capable.
M. Huff on Noble Monticello.
right there.
It's next to the gas station.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the little house.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm Delisha Robinson, and I have, my nonprofit is PADS, PABS, so I have a 501c3. And I was really a novice, like grassroots type, and I went to PNC Fairfax Connections and SCORE, and they helped me, and I was able to file and just figure it out,
Okay.
so just a FYI.
That
Okay.
the Fairfax, I heard that they were, somebody was just telling me last week that they were a good
It's a good
resource to go
resource.
to. I need
Yeah.
to check into that too.
Maybe we know a lawyer who may be. We have somebody to do it.
It's not picking up what you're putting down, I don't think.
I know, they're not. I'll catch them outside.
It's outside of my area.
Thank you for your observation. I'm glad someone's paying attention. But that's a great suggestion. So I guess we could look around, or maybe someone who is listening in our community who wants to donate a little time in helping the Noble merchants solidify a 501c3 for their nonprofit to help them address their issues and needs and goals with the city. We will welcome your help. And yes.
I just came up with an idea.
Mm.
There's a lawyer that's been working with the Community Improvement Corporation. And I should know his name because I've been in like 5 meetings with him. And at the next CIC meeting, since you'll probably be there, I think we should ask.
Okay.
Even if he doesn't do it,
May know
he definitely knows how to do it because that's why he's there. Because
You talking about Jason?
is that his name?
Yeah, Doug from Retzel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's at
Okay.
least a resource.
All right. So we can start searching for those things. Okay. And once the meeting is over, we can you all can set up a meeting with Maya and start the next process. So for those of you who have just come into the room, Oh, God. Why can't I go blank? Antoinette has been the spokesperson for the group. She's indicated we have about 40 merchants who want to be a part of the association, and that you all are the spokespeople, so since everyone didn't have to come. And she updated them on what you all have talked about, the logo, the name, and so forth. And I let them know about a surprise that I had went to the county and asked for some startup money to help you all, and they have agreed to give you $10,000 of their ARPA funds.
Yes.
To start the association. So, and then council will look at, once you all meet with Myra, put together a plan, bylaws, form the 501c3, then council will look, Myra will help you put together a budget, then council will come in at that particular time and decide how much funds you need to get started and to move your agenda forward.
And
Sounds
come
really,
back
really
to the
good.
table again.
And we'll come back to the table. So now you have additional homework. We left you with homework the first time, now you have additional homework. And I guess all of us will probably be looking for a attorney that can help pro bono, the 501c3. We have a lot of lawyers within Cleveland Heights, and hopefully someone's listening and that could actually help get this association on the ground.
And I'll send an email over to my mentor over in the Women Business Center. They may know somebody too, because they help with stuff like that.
And the Urban League may have someone too.
Mhm.
Yeah, so.
And I want you to think about something we talked about in the meetings. It's great that you're getting this funding now, but think about what you're gonna do for funding on your own, like in the future. So when you start doing your planning and you get together with your meetings, think about, okay, we already know we've got this behind us. Maybe we aren't gonna use all of this year, but how are we gonna move forward so that we have a growing organization and it doesn't just fall apart after?
Right.
It'll always change over time, but probably like a 3 to 5 year
Yes.
forecast.
Okay.
So you should be thinking forward instead of thinking present, so that you always know that this will keep going.
Right. So a nice little roster on the side.
Yeah, I mean, you know that you've got this and that's great. It's like having a savings account right now.
How we gonna make it grow?
Yeah.
Yes. And so that would be wonderful. Okay.
And thank you
got
for
that
voting
look
for it.
again.
Well, I'm sitting here thinking that
Thank you for being here for us.
when the city previously provided funding from community block grant money for a merchants association, who the legal recipient was of that money, is there some way we could go
I have to look back.
way and
Yeah, that was before my time.
go looked
Yeah, I can,
to determine maybe there's already a defunct organization that you could reactivate?
was that when you were on CAC?
That goes back a ways.
Is that Taylor?
Yes.
Yeah.
An idea?
Because Coventry used to have community
No,
block
no.
grants, I think.
This is going back to when I don't even remember when I was on CAC. It's,
What about 2011?
was
As far
I on
back
in
as this-
2011? I don't remember.
Alright, I'll take a look right now.
You're speaking of the previous business association that was on Noble?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
So we're
I've been there for
perfect.
20 years, so it was before that.
Oh, wow.
It's been during, because,
We wasn't a part of it, I don't think.
yeah, maybe not, because I know there used to be some events that merchants
Maybe 13 years.
put
It
on.
had been 13 years.
I see something.
Because he's saying
Yeah.
it's 2011. That
It
would-
isn't word perfect, so let's see that.
Yeah, because I got the shop in 2012. So
Yeah.
it's about.
So it's called Noble Neela Merchants Association. Rob, city manager.
When was that back?
2011.
The one that was speaking of that, she said she didn't know what happened.
She didn't know what happened.
Yeah.
What he's saying is if that paperwork
Yeah,
exists,
sorry.
it saves you a bunch of steps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stan Sobel was the contact. Stan.
It
Not from
sounds
none of my
familiar.
merchants.
Do you remember him?
You have a contact
Familiar name, but I can't.
or email?
Is that the florist?
We can re-
Right now, all I'm seeing is, so his address was 2132 Noble Road, East Cleveland.
that's the florist.
I think that's the florist.
That's the florist. He sold.
Yeah, he not even
He's,
here
he's
anymore.
not there.
But he was definitely like
He was the.
a cog that made that all
He
work back
was.
then.
So that's still part of
I'll see if there's a
Cleveland
note.
Heights on that.
No, it's
What was the
that's
name of
East
it?
Cleveland, but he's not
Noble
even there
Neal
no more.
Merchants Association.
Oh.
Is there a hyphen or anything, or just separate words for Noble Nila?
Let's see.
Yeah, Calhoun's on that now.
Yeah.
But he still works there, part-time. So I could still reach out to him, cause I do still see him. Okay,
So we're gonna try to reach out to him to get the paperwork.
to see what he remembers and
Okay.
if he has. And then, Brian, if possible, if there's any paperwork, could you email it to Addie? And then we could share it with you all, and that could be something to start with,
Yeah.
with Myra. Yes,
That sounds
No
great.
hyphen.
Yeah, this is for Brian. Quick question. Do the records indicate what contribution the city was providing back then?
Let me look.
I don't think it was a significant amount of money.
So be there. Looks like $7,500. Was in 2011. I haven't looked at any more recent years yet.
Thank you.
so yeah, whatever information you have, you can send it to Addie, please.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so you all have your homework cut out for you, and we will wait until after you put all of your ducks in a row, and we'll have another meeting to see what we need to do to move forward from there. Okay? All right, everybody's good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so very much for coming and for updating us, and I'm very proud of
Yes,
you all.
this is
Very much,
good.
very
This
much.
is
proud of
good.
you all. You
Really
moved-
quick.
You moved very, very quickly, and you've been working to get those merchants together, so
I need your
I am
phone number.
Okay.
very happy, so.
216
And thank the city for
526
helping with this process,
6877.
and our council members for
And
making
email.
sure there's some funding
ME.
for opera money to make sure.
KY.
that,
YA.
Yep.
2005 at Gmail.
Saying that,
Personal one.
this meeting is now adjourned.
Thank you, thank you.
All right.